We're talking about the Holy Spirit as we study the third article of the Apostles' Creed and Luther's explanation of it. We started that last week, and this week we'll spend a little bit of time with that middle part of Luther's explanation. He talks about who the Holy Spirit is and what the Holy Spirit does. So Luther says, the Holy Spirit has called me by the gospel, enlightened me with his gifts, sanctified and kept me in the true faith. So let's think about those things for just a second. The Holy Spirit calls us by the gospel. The Holy Spirit works faith in our hearts and our minds through the gospel, through hearing the gospel. So he calls us by the gospel. He enlightens us with his gifts. So the Holy Spirit gives us gifts that we might be able to serve God and serve our neighbor. Calls us by the gospel, enlightens us with his gifts, sanctifies. So that's a kind of a fancy word, right? And sanctification is talking about living a holy life, living and acting out good works for others. Not that we would earn favor with God. God has already given us that through his Son, Jesus Christ. That's what we call justification. But sanctification is this idea that we live in holiness. We are made holy by the Holy Spirit, and we live holy lives. So the Holy Spirit calls us by the gospel, enlightens us with gifts, sanctifies us, and keeps us in the true faith. So throughout our daily lives, we are kept in the faith by the power of the Holy Spirit, working in and through us. So that's what the Holy Spirit does. That's who the Holy Spirit is. He calls us by the gospel. He enlightens us with his gifts. He sanctifies us, makes us holy, and he keeps us in the true faith. Luther goes on to say that in the same way he calls, gathers, enlightens, and sanctifies the whole Christian church on earth and keeps them with Jesus Christ in the one true faith. So it's not just you, it's not just me, it's the whole Christian church on earth. The Holy Spirit is hard at work, calling people to the gospel, enlightening them with gifts, sanctifying them, and keeping them in the true faith. He does this for every Christian all over the world.